Coming up
that's
next
been my
on the
obsession
HeRide
the most with
podcast.
HeRide. It's like people are like, oh, it's rideshare, all this other stuff. Yeah, it's just rideshare. Yes, it's just transporting someone from point A to point B. But this is something that people have been complaining about for years. And I'm so glad that I'm the person to help solve this problem. The airport dropped our press release. So Hartsville did their own press release on us. Shout out to them.
Facts.
Cannot believe they did that. That was like huge. Like that came from their news. Yeah.
Man.
So when they did that on September 13th, Lyft actually on the day before, they actually dropped or made the announcement that they were dropping their women's service, which is like Women's Plus Connect, right? I already knew that it was in the works. I didn't know the name of it, but I knew that something was in the works. And so the only reason they did that is because we are now the third option when it comes to rideshare at the airport, the busiest airport in the world. When you get off a plane and you're going to the rideshare, you only think of two options, Uber and Lyft.
Facts.
Now there's another option. They don't want, that is a bad thing in terms of just like revenue generation, all the other stuff. So if we capture 10% of that market, we're making like $5 million in a year. That's how much money Uber and Lyft is making at the airport. Did y'all just catch that? If we capture 10% of the market,
Just 10%,
we will be clearing $5 million in revenue. And that's
Building a legacy, so watch how you step to me. You know it's inherited, ain't no comparison, stacking up guaranteed. Moving so militant, consistent and disciplined. Getting that paper and stacking it up, no time for no chillin', man. Building a legacy, so watch how you step to me. You know it's inherited, ain't no comparison, stacking up guaranteed. Moving so militant, consistent and disciplined. Getting that paper and stacking it up, no time for no chillin', man.
Yo, what's good? It's Sir Gates. You're now tuned into the Inherited Podcast. Once again, if y'all been watching, tuning in on YouTube, whether it's Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, I highly appreciate y'all. So make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, download, leave a review, share it with your friends, your family, your mama, and everything. But look, before we get into this episode, right? This episode is sponsored by Secure Data Recovery. They are the leaders in securing your data with SSDs, any kind of hard drive, right? Quick backstory. Before this pod even popped off, it was literally episode 2. I recorded so many previous episodes, my hard drive crashed. Due to an error with the company, SanDisk, count your days. But I hit up Secure Data Recovery. They offer a good high percentile of recovering all of your data. They got all of my data back. Thus for I was able to proceed with the podcast. So make sure y'all check out Secure Data Recovery. If you ever have a crash in your hard drive, lost files, they will recover your data. Let them know Sir Gates sent you. You may get you a good deal. So, but let's get into the show. So today, I have a special guest. It's been a long time coming. It's been a long time coming. So this is the GOAT of GOATs of tech, of rideshare. I have Jillian Anderson here, the CEO and founder of HeRide Rideshare. How you doing, Jill?
I am so good. Appreciate it, Gates.
No
the
problem,
original
man.
Gates.
No
I said when I came in, the original Gates. It's the original Gates, y'all.
No problem, man. So I say it's been a long time coming. Today, I really just want to get you on this platform because you're doing something great, right? You're breaking barriers and you're making history. One, within the city, and two, I'm pretty sure within yourself and your family, right? So before we get started, just introduce yourself. Give them a little, tell them who you are and where you're from.
Yeah. So my name is Jillian. I am the founder of HeRide, and I don't know, it's hard for me to talk about myself still, but I am just someone who, I just say what I do and I do what I say, if that makes sense. I moved to Atlanta in 2017, started driving rideshare in order to help with my schedule because I was trying to actually go pro for basketball. And so I used to drive at night, and women would tell me that they'd rather ride with a woman. And I was like, who started Lyft? Like, who started Uber? Like, I wonder if this can be done. And, just started doing some research, and here we are. So HeRide is here. We just got approved at the airport. I'm super excited. My life revolves around HeRide, and so I'm extremely excited about that. I love it, and I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
All that stuff you just said is dope and groundbreaking. So before we get started, even though I know you're not nervous, but icebreaking time, right?
Oh, yeah, it's lit.
Yeah.
I love games.
Oh, yeah. Pick a card out of this deck, right?
All right,
We're
bet.
both going to answer it. I don't know what it's going to say. This is actually a fresh deck. I'm coming out of the other deck usually, but so we're going to see what this card going to say. These questions usually aren't nothing bad, nothing crazy. It's going to be a smooth little question. So we both going to answer it.
Yeah.
You shall go first. So
All right,
let's see. Oh, this is something crazy or funny. So would you rather have unlimited sushi for life or unlimited tacos for life?
Probably tacos because I love Mexican food more than sushi. But if that choice was Chinese food, it would definitely be Chinese food. Because chicken and broccoli, like I can eat chicken and broccoli every day.
Word.
Yes, anybody that knows me, like that is like my favorite go-to. Like I will celebrate a great accomplishment and like celebrate and go to get Chinese. Like my girl hates it. Like, like I love Chinese food that much, but yes.
I can't be mad at that. Myself, I would have to say my first thought was sushi for life, and I just thought about just eating all that fish and cookie. And it's cold, I would want a hot meal.
Exactly.
So now I'm stuck. But I'll go with my first thought. It'd be sushi. I love sushi, all different kinds, California roll, all this extra stuff. So it'd have to be sushi for me. But if I had a chance to switch, I would definitely hit the tacos up. I love a good taco, a little sour cream, fresh pico, cilantro, and all that stuff.
Yeah, I just went to San Francisco. We had some good Mexican food out there. It is good. Yeah.
Yeah, I love what you call it, like the not organic, but the food from different nationalities is made the right way and not more so of a chain restaurant.
Exactly.
I can eat that, but I prefer the actual. I want to how they make it and this and that. It's just
mom
10
and
times
pop.
better. Yeah, there we go.
I
The
only
mom
want
and
a mom and pop shop. Yeah.
The best one, you got to find them in the hood somewhere, but that's where they at, man.
Yep, and it's worth it every single time.
All the time. So look, so what I want to do is get your backstory, right? Your origin story. So take us back to young Jill, because I'm pretty sure whatever you're gonna say and give us, a lot of this has kind of made you and shaped you to who you are. It kind of instilled those principles into you and just that mindset of to get into this tech world and to be able where you are at today. So just give us a backstory of childhood, how you grew up, household, school, friends, and just where you started up till you're gonna stop around like college time and get from there. So
all right, cool.
Tell us about Jill.
All right, so my backstory is, it's kind of complex, but it's kind of simple to me. Okay, so I grew up in a 2-parent household. My mother and my father, and then I also have a younger brother. They actually started us in private school. So I started in private school. There was an all-black private school in Athens, Georgia at one point. It's called Timothy Christian Academy, and it was actually an extension of the church that I went to, Timothy Baptist Church. And so they went all the way to 5th grade. Like I said, it was all black. For the most part, it's all black. But the person that ran the school, or the person that was the principal, was a white guy. His name was Mr. York. When I say that was probably the best head start I had when it comes to education, it definitely put me up there above, I guess, everyone else. When you talk about education, we transitioned into public school. I was going into 4th grade. My brother was going into the 1st grade. And that was because TCA actually closed. And so we were trying to actually find schooling in the other private schools, but it was too much because, like I said, I had both my parents in the household. So there was no scholarships available or anything like that. So we went into the public school system. As soon as I got into public school, my parents were very active in my education. I will say that. So like, my dad was someone who he would pull up and come sit in my classroom and like there'll be nothing wrong. Like I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't get in trouble or anything like that. He just was someone who wanted to make his presence known in the school. He came to the school so much, the middle school, that instead of the stickers, the visitor sticker, they actually laminated one for him just gave him his own laminated pass. Like he came to the school that much. So he was a very active parent. My mother was very active. So as soon as I got into elementary school, they had me tested for gifted. I tested into gifted, and pretty much school was pretty much easy for me after that. I would say that the only reason I say that is because I had the best teachers. When you test into gifted or spectrum, you get the best teachers in the public school system. And so I can't really say that my experience in school was bad because, like I said, I had amazing teachers. But the only thing that was different for me that people didn't probably experience was in middle school, for my reading, language arts, and math classes, I was the only black kid in those classes.
Wow.
So that's 6th grade through 8th grade. Those classes in particular, those were accelerated classes. I was the only black kid in that class. And so that was a different experience because you're going from your science and your social studies. I'm also in a county that's majority black. The schools I went to were majority black. We're talking like 75% up black. And so I'm in a class where really the white kids are the minority, but they're also the ones that are the smartest. And so going from those classes to regular classes, it was like a culture shock, but it also kind of, I guess, helped me just be, more personable.
Yeah.
And like kind of helps with my personality. Fast forward to 7th grade, my father passes away. So he was sick. He had leukemia. He passed away. And so that was very tough. I kind of like just focused my mind, or like, I really clung to sports at that time. That's when you were able to play sports. And so started playing sports, started playing volleyball, basketball. But at the same time, I got a job at a fish market. Random. I know it's weird, but
it's some brand with Jill though.
yeah, I know, right? The guy that owned it actually was a deacon at our church. And so he was called Rainbow Fish Market. I started working there. He let me run the cash register. And I actually got to take orders, and then he showed me how to clean fish, gut fish, scale it, like all that weird, like why would a 12-year-old girl want to do that? Don't know, but it actually fascinated me. So I learned how to do that. I did everything but cooking because I wasn't old enough. And so, but I got to try everything. So at that age, I got to try all type of seafood. It just expanded my palate on a different level. And like I said, I got addicted to making money. So that's what really started my entrepreneurship, or like I just wanted to have my own money at that point. And so from that point on, every summer I had a job. And I still played sports. I didn't do AAU. And by the time I graduated high school, I had a scholarship to go to Albany State for track. And so I chose to go to Albany State. I could have went to Bethune-Cookman.
So what made you choose Albany State over Bethune?
Bethune-Cookman actually sent me a scholarship I got a full academic scholarship to Bethune-Cookman, but they sent it to me in June. And I graduated May 2010, and they sent it in June. I was like, well, what the? Yeah, so that's the only reason I didn't go to Bethune. But I mean, for good reason. Going to Albany State was the best decision of my life. But yeah, that's my backstory.
Okay, no, I can agree. Albany State was a great school to go to, have fun while I was there. Well, you said something I want to touch on, right? I know you said your father passed away at a fairly young age. So how did that kind of affect you mentally growing up? I mean, at that age, who's kind of really prepared for death? I mean, of course, we probably have a sense of what it is, but that's your dad, not like a cousin, aunt, a friend, or family. That's like right there immediate in your household. So how did that weigh on your mental, and how did that affect you as growing up?
It weighed a lot. I didn't realize how much it weighed on me actually until I was an adult. I pretty much became so locked in and laser focused after it happened that all I was just focused on was graduating, going to college, graduating college, and playing whatever sports I was playing and getting into school. Like I just put it all the way in the back of my brain. And then once I graduated school, that's kind of like when all those feelings started to come out and develop. It was very tough mentally. Like I'm the oldest. And so I had to kind of for me, I felt like I had to kind of be the example for my brother, be strong for my brother, show him that it is okay. It's life is going to go on, and it's okay to continue on living and continue to excel and continue to be great at whatever it is that you want to be great at. And so that's kind of what my focus was trying to be the best example I could be for my brother. But
so when you said you cling to sports and then the work, was that kind of you coping from that, or was it just so it was?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I mean, I've been to therapy, and so that's what they told me. That's why I become so hyper focused on things, or that's why I have this obsession with achieving going over the top, that type of thing. And so I was like, it's not an attention thing. It's just that's kind of the way I cope with not having to deal with grief, thinking about grief. Yeah. And so I was like, so now that I'm older, I've become more accepting of it. So I didn't really used to care about celebrating my birthday. That was a thing, a symptom.
Same.
Didn't care about it at all. I have great friends, so I thank my friends over the years for just staying close to me, being great examples for me, helping me celebrate my birthday when I didn't want to celebrate my birthday. So things like that, they definitely helped me with. And then the other thing that I struggled with was accomplishing milestones. I didn't realize how hard that would be after losing a parent. So graduating high school was extremely hard for me. Graduating college, turning 21, or those different little milestones that you hit. Those were extremely hard for me to deal with. Almost to the point to where it makes you want to self-sabotage the entire thing. Yeah. Because you don't want to experience it. You don't want to, so you don't have to think about it. But it's extremely hard. But therapy helps. I will say that. I tell people that all the time. My mom, she did her best with trying to she kind of threw us in a little grief counseling thing for a little while, but it only lasted for a couple weeks. And then we were just back in school, and we were on the
therapy that's a major key. I mean, a lot of people may not understand that because of course it may just that whole environment, telling somebody you don't know your feelings, your business, your personal life, and just being just so open and transparent. But for a human being, that's just one of the best things you can do to get through trials, tribulations, and trauma, because it's just like you bottle up so much emotions, and whether it's anger, the grief, and stuff like that, the people who probably surrounding you already, they're probably most of the times going to tell you what you want to hear, just because they know, like, oh, I know this person, I know Jill. This may make Jill feel better. Versus the therapist is like, okay, I hear you and I understand you, but X, Y, and Z, X, Y, and Z, X, Y, and Z. Then just ask you these certain questions to where it's like, let me think about this way versus how I was thinking it. And now it just evoke this answer so I can just self-discovery and just find this and that out. So therapy, it helped me out in life. When I tell folks all the time, when I went to the military and came back, it was a point of just, I'm out here shooting missiles all day and just loving and enjoying that. But coming back home to the civilian life, how the hell am I going to transfer that skill to, I can't just get a job in Georgia doing
Shooting
that.
missiles, exactly.
You can't
like,
do it. So it was just that transitional phase was kind of just, now what am I doing with my life? So it had me in a state of depression and just anxiety. So, but when I got into therapy, it was just like, man, these people actually, because it was a situation where I had a male therapist and a female therapist, but the male, he was a white guy. The female was a black lady. So it was just, the white guy was my first one, but it was just coming from a black background. Is there that much you can kind of relate to? Even though he did give me some good feedback, but nonetheless, just that whole therapeutic session was great for me. But just having said that, when you said you was kind of not purposely like self-sabotaging and stuff of that nature, during high school and college, like did it turn into where you were just like acting out or just being bad behavior, fighting all the time, or was it just like you just gave zero fucks about anything? Just like, you know what, let's just go through life.
So I am someone that I have morals. So I'm not going to just say that I didn't give a fuck. I would say that I was living my life with no remorse. So I was saying I was living my life with no remorse. So example of my way of showing out in high school was something that my mother never even found out about. Was I started selling candy in high school my senior year. I also held a job, like I said, every summer. One of my first jobs that I had, I didn't work retail. I didn't work fast food. I didn't work any of that. I actually was a pool clerk at in our city. So we had, city pools or whatever like that, pay $1 to come in. I was the person that sat and took the money. They didn't have any type of system in terms of keeping count of how many people were in there. I was the person that kept count. So however many people came in the pool was however many people came in the pool based off of what I said. And so I started, one of the summers, there was, I started really getting into sneakers, and I was like, well, the money that I'm making at the pool is not enough to get all the sneakers that I want.
Yeah.
So I started, pocketing some $1 bills here and there. Those ones turned into $5, turned into 10s, turned into 20s, turned into hundreds of dollars that I'm now taking from the pool. That was like, I became like very sneaky. Like I was just like, I became obsessed with like doing things and then like trying to see if I was going to get caught. Yeah. But then not getting caught and then just being like, whoa, like, all right, well, what's the next thing? Limits. Yeah, like pushing the limits. And so after that, we start selling candy. I started selling candy with a friend in high school. And you would think that, okay, this girl has made money selling, working all summer. She's clearly saved some money up to buy some, candy to start. That's not true. We stole all the candy that we sold at school. Yeah, like just stole it all. So it's 100% profit. We're stealing candy from both of the Walmarts in Athens for years. I mean, not years. I'm sorry. Excuse me. For that year. And like I said, we were bringing it back to school, selling it for $1. That's 100% profit. So we just did that all senior year. Like the fact that I didn't get caught is clearly God sent, because that's like a real serious charge. But I was doing things like that. Started smoking once I was like a senior in high school, but I didn't start seriously smoking until I got to college. But like different things like that. Smoking is probably my biggest vice when it came to like coping over grieving and all the other stuff. Outside of that, I was just, I started doing like the little stealing out the stores. I never stole from people. I never got into gangs. I never got into none of that other stuff. It was just like me just being sneaky and like trying to finesse my way out of different things. But yeah.
See, it sounded like you say you did have some morals. There was a line you wouldn't cross. Of course, like, I ain't gonna steal from y'all, but these big companies and whatnot, they gonna miss it anyways.
Yeah, Walmart could definitely get it.
The lit back in the day. I can't lie. I had my runs up in Walmart. A lot of the times it was from either the deli side or what we used to do, of course, as boys. Everybody want to go outside and hoop. So you go into Walmart with your basketball shorts on, your long pair. How these look? Go in the dressing room, throw them on, and put yours back on, and take one pair back out. Like I don't want these, and then just skate out, then go to the deli side, get you what's it called? It was like a plastic container of the chicken.
Yep, the chicken.
Pull the top receipt out so one was out the door. Yeah, we all kind of probably had no moments.
The way that actually what sat me down was stealing chicken from Walmart. I got caught. Yeah, my senior year of school at Albany State, I got caught. They did like some crazy sting at the Walmart that year, and I had actually had a whole cart of food that we just bought because we had got food stamps. So we had just purchased food.
Yeah.
But while we was in the store, I had got some of those little boneless wings or whatever.
That's what it was. The boneless
threw them away. Just threw them away because I always do it. Like it's something that like we did it to the point that you thought that it was like
like you going and eating grapes like the bad testing type.
Yeah, them folks stopped us, and I legit went to jail in Albany for. It was like $8 worth of chicken. I was like, what the... And when they said my name in court versus everybody else, they got caught with theft by taking. I had the lowest amount, and I got the same charge as everybody else. I was in there laughing, like legitimately laughing. I was like, y'all cannot be serious right now.
The system is crazy, man. I can't say this, though. I won't go into the whole detail because somebody else is involved, but there was an incident right at that same Walmart in Albany to where... somebody was locked up, and it was a whole fiasco of getting them out of jail because we was on a mission but it was for us, it was a purpose to create content.
Yeah.
We was going home for the summer, and the mass comm, they had some cameras and stuff you can rent out, but we got the camera, kind of find out we didn't have the battery for it. So before we hit the road to Atlanta, that Walmart got to pass it.
Yep.
We need a battery, but that didn't go as planned. So,
that be that hurt. Oh my God.
Yeah, they was on I can't say they was on a P's and Q's at that Walmart right there in Albany, Georgia. But so having said that, it just sound like a lot of what she was doing, yes, he may have been acting out, but there was some pros and cons to it both. Like you was speaking about selling that candy, you mentioned the word profit. Business terms, you was making profit off of what you was doing. I mean, despite how you was doing it, you was getting some profit. So what intrigues you the most about making money in business? Like what is I know you said kind of the root of it was you're working at a young age, but like what intrigues you so much about that to where you just want to, this is my future, this is my passion versus I can deal with a 9-to-5. So what intrigues you about it so much?
Solving a problem. I think I'm just a natural problem solver. Like anything that people bring to me, any type of problem anybody brings to me, I'm kind of like a solution-based person. Like you can't really complain to me if we're not trying to seek a solution. So that's kind of, I'm just a natural problem solver. That's what it is. I'm addicted to that. Like solving a problem and then like proving that I can solve the problem on a grand scale. I love it. I just love it. I love it so much. I think that's been my obsession the most with HeRide. It's like people are like, oh, it's rideshare, all this other stuff. Yeah, it's just rideshare. Yes, it's just transporting someone from point A to point B. But this is something that people have been complaining about for years. And I'm so glad that I'm the person to help solve this problem because the problem is there. Like it needs to be solved. Like if someone's not, I'm someone who's I just hate when people talk and then just talk just to talk. Like complaining just to complain. Complaining with no solutions. That's what it is. That's what I love. And then I understand supply and demand very well. And so understanding that, being obsessed with problem solving, I think that's what it is that I love that. And that's why I can't be an employee because I will sit at somebody else's job and be like, yeah, this could be run a lot better. Yep. And
been there.
And then it's just like, I don't want to be here anymore because I know that this could be run better and I know that I could do a better job of running it. And I'm not about to just limit myself in this role. So
that's very true. Not the basis of how they would say, if you want to either get rich or whatever in life, one of the major keys to that is solving a problem. That's how most of these companies are what they are because they're the answer to a solution. I was watching the documentary the other night, Big Vape. What they did was they solved that problem of, well, not to the max, but minimizing the amount of intake of nicotine. So how are we going to do that? From a cigarette to a vape pen. There was a problem. They made a solution. They got dumb rich. Unfortunately, a lot of kids got addicted and some was hospitalized. But again, I think some stuff like that comes with just the field of in business. You can't please everybody. Again, they was helping some, but some didn't get help. But again, problem solving solution factor is a big key in business. So with that, coming out of college, right? Or in college, is that where the root of HeRide started, or was it post-graduation?
Post-graduation. for college, of course, is I think my most memorable moment from college would be Beast, the clothing line I started. And that was so random. Like, that was not intentional. There was nothing intentional about Beast.
So what birthed it? Like, what was behind it?
It came from a nickname. So, you know, I was an RA for 2 years. And so the kids, I call them the kids, but they were only a year or two younger than me. But I would get them to come to the volleyball games. They saw me play, and then everybody's like, "Oh my God, Jill, like, you're so good." And somebody gave me a nickname, Beast, and I was like, "Oh, I like that. Like, I like that." And so I went home for Thanksgiving break and hit my homegirl Ace up. She ran the store. She ran the lids up in Atlanta, and so I was like, "Hey, I want to get a beanie made with these words on it." And I made Beast the way that I made it. And I was like, "Can you put that like on the lid of the beanie, like on the rim part of the beanie?" She was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "All right, bet." She gave it to me. I came back with it. And then my teammates were like, "We need that." And I was like, "All right, bet. I'll get y'all made some." And so I got my teammates made some. And then when they started wearing on campus, other people saw them. They was like, "Are you selling these?" And I was like, I wasn't, but now I am. Like, because I was an RA. Y'all, if you knew how much RAs got paid at ASU, I don't know why I did RA. And look, I sacrificed good work study for 2 years to be a RA, and so I wasn't making no money for real. And so I was like, all right, let me go ahead and do this so I can make me some extra money, pay whatever I need, and all the other stuff. So I started doing it, and then
there's no cap in what she's saying. If y'all watch, I can vouch. You seen those Beast beanies and stuff everywhere. And shouts out to Miles too. Miles is one of the number one Beast supporters, promoters.
I swear to God. I swear, man. Miles is my guy, man. I love him so much. He bought every color I had for me, I swear.
Miles was the one. Like I say, I seen it everywhere around campus. So that's still good to know, no matter what, from a young age to college, you still had that drive to, I want to provide, but at the end of the day, still, I'm making money from providing whatever the service is, the product is to people. So when it comes to tech, what is your love for tech, birth? Like, as far as because you're deep into it. I'm pretty sure HeRide, the technicalities of it, man, it'll probably blow my mind. But so when did you hop into the tech world of things? Because clothing and tech, polar opposites. I mean, you have, of course, when you do the e-commerce, whatever, that's where it kind of meets. But just on a grand scale, it's kind of polar opposites. So where did that come into play?
I've been into tech since my mom got me like one of those VTech computers when I was a kid. So I've liked tech and like just techie things since I was a kid. I really got into tech in middle school. I got a PSP. And it changed my life. I was like, I was able to do whatever I wanted with that thing. You were able to surf the internet. Back then, that's when Wi-Fi just started, so there was no blocked Wi-Fi for real. But if there was, it was very weak, that little weak security thing that they had. So I used to be on my PSP streaming TV. So there was like a piece that you can connect to your TV and connect it to your cable, and you can control it from your PSP. So I was streaming before streaming existed. I was watching TV in middle school on my PSP.
Sheesh.
Yeah. So like that's what got me hooked into tech, like doing stuff like that, messing around with the PSP, getting on MySpace. I used to help people with their profiles. I didn't really sell that as like an advertisement thing because when it came to tech, when I realized like when people hit me up and they like, "Oh, I want you to do this for me, I was like, "Oh, I don't really like that. Like I don't really actually like taking orders from people."
Yeah.
And so I was like, But yeah, middle school is when I really was like, okay, when I go to college, this is what I'm majoring in. Like I knew what I was majoring in middle school. Yeah, I knew I was gonna go and either computer engineering or computer science. Yeah, I was super into it. I'm gonna learn how to code. I already knew that I didn't want to do that for the rest of my life, but I'm like, I'm gonna learn how to do it because if I want to be like an IT director or run a tech company or whatever like that, then I know how to I gotta know how to do everything. So yeah, that's where it started.
That's dope. So with HeRide, right? Talk about like what it. Of course, I know there are some things you may be able to talk about, some you can't because it's confidential, no information and whatnot, just within the build of it. Excuse me. So, what does it take to build a platform like HeRide, or just a tech piece of that? And so, what went into it? What were some of your processes? What was it like? Your stresses, and just from the journey of day zero to now. Kind of walk through that process and what it's been like for you so far. Yeah,
so I could tell y'all, there's pretty much no limits on what I can tell you guys how we developed HeRide because I just want to tell you guys the process for real. So I went to school for computer science. Like I said, I understand it. I know how to do it. Building the app, I didn't actually code it myself. So I went and found a company to code it or develops apps. And so that company they're specialized in what's known as clone apps. And so what a lot of these apps are now are clone apps. There's a lot of apps now that are just copies of the original. So there are a ton of Uber clone apps. There are a ton of Airbnb clone apps. And all of those companies, you can contact them and you can get an app that's just like theirs. They'll put your logo on it, all that good stuff, and you own the source code. But what I will say is, okay, and you get it for a very cheap price. But what I will say is you get what you pay for. So while you're paying a fourth of the price of what somebody else would pay to get that developed here, you're gonna that's where the issues come in. So you got language barriers because those companies are either in Asia somewhere.
Sounds
they're
like
either
fiber
in India.
issues.
Yeah, they're either in India, Bangladesh, anywhere somewhere in Asia. Then you got outside of the language barrier issues, you have just. They will try you. Like, I can't really put this in any other context, but they will try you. Like, if they know that you are not tech savvy, they will not include things that you paid for and just leave it out. And then when you bring it up, they're just like, oh, I didn't know. It's like, oh, you didn't think I was going to check? Like, that type of thing. Like, or they'll try to charge you for things that you shouldn't be paying for that's already included in like your service fee or your support fees. So having someone that is technically savvy is a must. Like, you cannot, if you want to go the cheap route, you have to have someone that's technically savvy on your team because you just need to have someone that's going to keep all that in check because they will try you. Like, I'm just being 100% honest. And so that's what we did. We went through a company that did a clone app for us. I got the clone app built, which was pretty much like a skeleton of what I really needed. It functioned, but it wasn't flawless. And so after that, I went to Fiverr. And so I went and found developers that could fix. So I needed an iOS developer to fix my iOS app, and then I needed an Android developer to fix my Android app. So I went and found 2 separate developers that did that, and I would pay them, but I would pay them just for a certain task. So I would pay them task by task. I didn't include it all in one big lump sum. Nope. Why? Because when you're paying developers, you pay them by the hour. And I know how long it should take to get certain things done. Yeah. So that's why I did it that way. Like I said, having someone tech savvy is important because that way you will save as much money as possible. So to get all the different things that I needed to make HeRide fully functional, that's what I did. Once we were live on the App Store, that was in March of 2020. We were good to go. We was pretty much smooth rolling from there. After that, it was just up to me to keep engineers on contract to maintain everything, to make sure maintenance is good and that we're up to par. Libraries are updated, things of that nature. And so that's where we're at now. So that's not where we're at now. What I've done now is we have integrated. What I've done now is we've teamed up with a company called Safe Hello. And so they are a software development company. They have the safety features that I had already wanted to put on my app. So they actually end up saving me thousands of dollars because I allowed them to integrate their SDK, which is software. That's what software is. Their SDK onto our app. So they put their features onto our app. We pay them an API charge, which is a service fee that you pay, but it's a lot cheaper than what you would normally pay on anything else tech related.
Yeah, it's monthly or like just one-time fee?
Monthly.
Okay.
It's monthly, and it's like 30 cents or something like that. So every successful completion ride on our platform, we basically give them 30 cents
Understood.
of it. And so because of that, they gave us 250 hours of free development labor, which was, if anybody knows how much development labor costs, I'll just give you an example. This company, for example, charging me $200 an hour for development. So we got 250 of those hours for free. So I got a lot of work done and a lot of stuff fixed. Yes, I did. I sure did. Maximize the fool out of that. And so we got a lot of stuff fixed. So now the app runs like water. That's the team that I work with now. We've already gotten out of that free 250 hours phase. We actually just finished paying them to do the most recent feature on the platform. And I'm stuck to them like glue because they work so well. But yeah, that's where we're at right now. But keeping somebody that's tech savvy is important. If you want an app, you need to have someone that's tech savvy. And you also need to understand and know if your company and business needs an app. Because everybody don't need an app. Some people just need really fire websites. Yeah. And like some people think they need an app and it's like, you don't really need that.
So what would you say causes for app, no app? Like what are some of the things you'd be like, okay, if you can write down a list of yeses and nos of where you need an app or not, what would someone be in your opinion?
If your business is mobile, you need an app. I would say you need an app. I would say it's pretty much, I would think it's necessary for you to have an app because you're in different locations.
Yeah.
If your business is, if you have a clothing line, you don't need an app. I'm just going to put that out there. You don't need an app. You need to focus on getting your product into stores so they can sell your stuff for you. And then you just get a commission off of that. If you do like custom work, like you custom design shoes, you custom design jewelry, or anything like that, you don't need an app. Unless your brand is just that big to the point to where, okay, the website is crashing every time y'all drop stuff, like that type of thing, it may be time for an app. At that point, you may need an app. But yeah, let me see. What are the industries?
Yeah, so you got clothing, because you got tech, you got food industry.
Catering. I think caterers should look into apps. I think that's dope. I think the way people schedule food, especially with the Uber Eats, DoorDash delivery, stuff like that. I think more caterers should actually look into getting apps. Yeah, they should do that.
So like you say, everybody don't need one.
And people are visual too, so food is a very visual thing.
Very much so. Yeah. Touching on those senses in certain industries is key as well. So, but in your business, right? As far as from where you started and then scaling it to where you're at now, and I'm saying speaking like on inside of it, as far as like help, personnel, whether you call them employees or not. So how do you operate in that realm as far as growing that and saying, okay, I need this person, that person, this is a good fit. And then in some realms, it's like, okay, you're here, maybe this is not a good fit. So what my boy Gary Vee said, what you hire fast, fire faster. So I know, I'm pretty sure you've been on a journey as far as building. So how does that work? Because there may be some entrepreneurs who just, I'm so quick I need a team. But at some point, at some level you do, there are some levels you don't. Because if you do get one, it could screw you up. But because you don't need that much, now you got employees to be responsible for. You got payroll. Now everybody is willing to work for free to help you out. So what were some of your battles and struggles as far as internally just building your company? Because again, you have a legit brand, you have a legit company. So for somebody that may be watching, what are some of those stresses and also positive things that you experienced?
Man, so I've gone through actually 2 co-founders before Devin. So before Devin came on, I had 2 different co-founders. The first one, she quit because it just didn't work out. The second co-founder, she literally just quit on me after a great conversation on the phone. It was weird. So it was just, so Devin has been, first of all, working with Devin has been amazing. Like,
shouts out to you, Devin.
Yeah, shout out to you, Devin. You already know what time it is. But yeah, working with Devin has been amazing. She works just like I work. We work so well together. I honestly be impressed with the way that she just does everything that she does because Devin has a son. So I'm just like, I don't even have no kids. And when I call, you always answer the phone. When do you sleep? Like, that's insane to me. So I'm always impressed with Devin. When it comes to working with us, the biggest thing is I don't trust people because again, I've gone through 2 co-founders. So it's like having to deal with that was already enough.
Is that the source of why you don't trust people or just you got this other?
I mean, that's just how I am. I mean, that's just how I am. And that's how I've been since I've hopped into the tech company business because people are just, y'all think the music industry is bad? The tech industry is worse. Like, I'm being 100% serious. Like, people will steal from you, all this other stuff, like steal your name, steal your ideas, steal everything, and then go raise $5 million off of and then raise $5 million off your name and just leave you out of everything, right? That type of thing. So you have to protect yourself, protect your brand, protect everything when it comes to a tech company that you're building. I just started delegating. I'm very bad at delegating. I'm actually really good at doing everything myself. But I'm getting to a point to where I'm about to have like nervous breakdowns and like my neck be hurting and stuff because like I'm carrying stress. I'm getting older. So I can't, do everything myself. And so Devin is always on me about delegating. And so that's what I've started doing this year. Got an assistant. They are pretty much, they work remotely. I'm just trying to get better at like organizing all my tasks at the beginning of the week to give her instead of like giving her random tasks because again, I'm someone who doesn't operate on a normal sleep schedule. I probably sleep like maybe 4 hours a day. So I'll be up at 2:00 in the morning and be like, hey girls, so we need some emails sent out. Like, let's do that. Let's handle all this random. So it's like, your assistant doesn't work like that. So you need to make sure that you have all the tasks that you need her to complete at least one day out the week and then give it to her. So that's what I'm really working on, is being better at delegating. I have finally gotten enough vehicle inspectors that I don't have to do vehicle inspections no more. I'm extremely proud of myself. That was a big task for me. So delegating that and moving that part over has been good. You have to like, when it comes to other people like wanting to work with us, I just tell them straight up, I ain't got no money. I ain't got no money to pay you. So if you want to work with me, you're either working for equity or you're working for, I don't know, volunteer hours, or if you want to be an intern, that is cool. We are looking for interns.
You believe the vision.
Let me look in the camera again for that. We are looking for interns.
Y'all better get with it.
I'm trying to tell you, we will write any letter you need to any professor for any credit. We are a real business, so we are looking for interns. But yeah, the hardest part about my business is, and I know everybody loves what we're doing with HeRide, and I know that everybody's doing the comparisons with the other companies, is, well, the difference between us and them is that we didn't raise $1.5 million up front. So I'm not rich. Okay. So, I still work my jobs. And so I'm just here to let everybody know, like, if you want to come work with HeRide, you need to have the ability to outwork me. That's pretty much it. Because I'm working a job, I'm working full time, Devin works full time still, and we both spend full-time hours on HeRide. So if you're trying to join our crew, you need to have as much energy as we do. There's nothing that you can't do to help us. You really have to show me in order for me to believe you. Telling me that you want to work for me is cool, but showing me is a lot better. Pulling up to where I'm at. I'm on social media a lot, and I always talk about where I'm at and where I frequent and the areas that I frequent. So showing up to those places, I wouldn't be scared, honestly. I'm not someone who's just gonna be like, oh my God, how'd you find out about where I hang out at? No, like, you telling me that you want to work with me, pull up to where I'm at, and let's get to work. That's simple as that.
You lay them rules out straightforward, man. And the thing you just said, as far as how you may be, there's a couple things I want to touch on, how you may be compared. So you have the Lyfts and the Uber. So was there at any point throughout your process you were worried or fearful, as far as, like, 'cause again, those are the big dogs in the field when they first popped out. So they could probably easily just say, oh man, this is girl Jillian, I see what she's doing. Let's steal her idea and add it to our platform. Let us have an option of just straight up female driver. So was there any kind of like angst in there? Or how did you kind of navigate that, as far as just saying, you know what, no matter what they do, I'm still doing my thing, whether they want to copy or not. So how did you kind of get through that, if there was anything there for that?
Doing my research is what helped me battle that fear. So there are other people that have tried to do what I've done already, and they just stopped, but it was just due to like lack of funding or like lack of security, or just the app didn't work or whatever like that. And I was just like, all right, bet. So these two companies aren't really worried about like women safety, women driving or whatever like that. So at the most, the only thing I need to worry about is brand loyalty. So I was like, if I can get people loyal to the brand and understanding the brand and the mission and all the other stuff, then we're gonna be good. I was like, all I gotta do is start completing rides and then actually getting into a portion of the city where we can actually generate revenue, which are airports. That is the difference maker. And I've done that, and the competitors have found out about that. So like, for example, the airport dropped our press release. So Hartsville did their own press release on us. Shout out to them.
Facts.
Cannot believe they did that. That was like huge. Like, that came from their news.
Man.
So when they did that on September 13th, Lyft actually, on the day before, they actually dropped or made the announcement that they were dropping their women's service, which is like Women's Plus Connect, right? I already knew that it was in the works. I didn't know the name of it, but I knew that something was in the works. And so the only reason they did that is because they knew that we are now the third option when it comes to rideshare at the airport, the busiest airport in the world. When you get off a plane and you're going to the rideshare, you only think of two options, Uber and Lyft.
Facts.
Now there's another option. They don't want, that is a bad thing in terms of just like revenue generation, all the other stuff. So if we capture 10% of that market, we're making like $5 million in a year. That's how much money Uber and Lyft is making at the airport. Did y'all just catch that? If we capture 10% of the market,
just
10%, we will be clearing $5 million in revenue. And that's just for airport pickups. We're not talking about drop-offs. I don't even know how much money they're making for the drop-offs. Yeah, that's the only data I got for the pickups. They made $48 million last year. So,
sheesh.
Yeah, like that is a scary thing. And on top of that, like I am the blueprint of showing like any other minority or anybody else that wants to start a rideshare company how to do it and how to actually make money, get in the airport first. So they had to stop that. So they're already trying. And I mean, like they're trying, but we're already here. We're already here. We're established. So, I've trademarked my name. I'm not a fool. You know, we got brand loyalty. We're in a city that's extremely popular and trendy and are trendsetters when it comes to just things in culture, tech, anything.
Facts.
And so they are screwed. They are a little fucked right now. And they are a little nervous. And I've been seeing the advertisements that they're displaying now in our area and stuff like that. And I'm like, good. I got y'all on y'all heels. Yeah. And honestly, y'all should have called me before y'all even did any of this. Like, who knows? I could have settled for an acquisition, but nobody wanted to call me. So now I'm like, well, y'all should have did y'all research because I was a walk-on athlete in school. So I am used to taking people's spots. Like I have no problem. I have no problem competing with Lyft now. Like if they want to make it a problem, we can make it a problem. So
you're talking to somebody who's getting out the mud.
I'm trying to tell you.
Another obstacle to overcome. Let's say you made it thus far, so what? You ain't lost at none so far. So it's like, hey man, and I love the mindset of that because some could have just been like, this giant mega company is just so fearful. It's like, all right, I ain't gonna be able to stand up to these folks, but you 10 toes down to the ground, pounding at the airport with it. So I applaud you for that. Here go some flowers for that.
Thank you.
Couple of these bouquets going for that. That's a big thing, right? One, a minority doing it. Two, a female doing it, and you're a brand new startup, but having to get at that point that fast. I mean, yes, you put in time over your career to put in your work, but to get to the airport, to be a third option to only 2 monopolies there, that's major.
Yep.
So congrats to that. And I've seen as well, like throughout your process, you've raised a lot of money here and there doing this and that. So talk about that a little bit. Like, what does it take to get the funding you did get? So again, you say you didn't raise the millions and this and that, but you have raised a substantial amount of cash flow to help you out. So what goes into that process and the mindset and just the skill to get money from either investors, grants, and stuff like that?
Being transparent, being organized, and being structured. We are a corporation and we are structured as such. I am, when we did our family and friends raise, I made sure that, okay, anybody that was interested in investing, they had to schedule a Zoom meeting with us. And so I sat there on the Zoom meeting and I read through all of the forms, all of our paperwork, our term sheets, everything. Read through each section. If you had any questions, I answered them. Why? Because I paid my lawyer to create the documents and then explain them to me.
Facts.
So that I can better explain them to you guys. Like being transparent is the number one thing. Especially in our community, like we just don't trust each other with money. We don't trust each other with finances. There are so many people that scam. It's ridiculous. And
especially in Atlanta.
So when it comes to like running legitimate businesses, like you need to be transparent. That's the number one thing. The number two thing is confidence. So I've raised some money through doing pitches this year. That's the new thing that I've started doing this year. I started going to pitch competitions. And so just being confident. If you're good at public speaking, use that to your advantage and go to those pitch competitions and pitch. Figure out how you're going to pitch. It's going to take you a couple times. You're not just going to do it on your first time and be out here winning $20,000 pitch competitions. I'm telling you. Start low. Start with the 500s because like I said, it's free money anyway. So start low and keep going and keep building from there. That's what helps us. I apply for a lot of grants. I spend a lot of time on Google looking up grants. Looking up grants in different states, looking up grants that we just qualify for because some grants you don't have to be from that state to qualify for, all the other stuff. So I'm applying for grants all the time. Devin knows, like I'll text her one Sunday and be like, hey, I just hit 10 grants today. Like I apply for grants like I apply for jobs. Like I'm applying.
1,000,
And so even when you do those, I've learned that like these grants be asking for videos. So you need to have videos already on deck. Videos explain what your company is, who you are, and make them like a minute to a minute and a half because that's usually how long they ask for them, and just keep them general so that you can reuse those videos. Sometimes if it's a grant that you really want or if it's a little bit more money, I would say like record something that's a little bit more personable so that they'll understand that you just like definitely made this video just for them. But yeah, be personable, be honest, be transparent. Don't try to confuse it. I have a tech company. Do not try to confuse these people that you are trying to win money from with your big fancy tech words. Nobody gives a fuck. Like they don't understand it. So you have to dumb it down and make it simple for them to understand it. Like, hey, what do you do for HeRide? Or what is HeRide, Jill? Like if I started my pitch saying that HeRide is a peer-to-peer transportation company that does this, that works on connecting cities from, like, you would literally be lost. Like you would literally be lost in the first 3 seconds. You don't know what I'm talking about. Like, just say what you do, and that's why I simplify it as easy as I can. What is HeRide? HeRide is rideshare made for women by women. Explain more. All of our drivers are women on our platform. I get it. So you're like Uber and Lyft, but you have all women drivers.
Facts.
Yes, indeed. Now they get it. Oh, I would love to invest in a company like that because most people didn't have a chance to invest in the Lyfts and the Ubers when they first came out. So that's how I explained it to people. That's how we broke it down. But being structured, get you a corporate attorney, make sure you trademark your names, spend the money on that stuff. That's what I spend my money on. I don't spend my money on, we just did our app launch party this year. My app's been on the market since 2020. Like, I don't spend my money on things like that, like celebrating and like, you know, like, oh, yay, we got all that. No, I spend my money on like making sure our business is taken care of.
Yeah.
We just paid tax. We just did tax. We filed taxes this year for the first time. I can't even believe how much money I spent on that. Like, but that's what I spend my money on because at the end of the day, we're competing against two people that have had $1.5 million head start on me.
Yeah.
So they're coming with, you know, they're going to come and throw their whatever on us. So I need to make sure our paperwork is legit. I need to make sure our insurance is updated. I need to make sure our taxes are good. I need to make sure that everything is good because they're going to be throwing the gauntlet at us, trying to get us shut down more than likely. So that's what I've been focused on. And that's what other people should focus on, is making sure that your business is and your paperwork is in order.
They say paperwork make the paperwork.
And they not lying. I'm trying to tell you.
Fact. So that you gave out some great advice, and one, and just in the mindset of what it takes to get stuff done, and two, to be an entrepreneur, and three, just in your specific field. So if anybody was just listening, rewind this back and take some notes, especially trying to go into the tech, build apps, or you want to be the next rideshare for kids or something. You just never know. Like, she gave y'all a whole bunch of gems to give you a head start. Stuff she took time to learn and to put forth effort into her business now. So don't let this go by you. Don't let it go on one end throughout the other. But next thing I want to ask you, when the commercial dropping?
Okay,
when is coming?
So the commercial is done. They add in the like special effects part on it. But whenever he sends it back to me, Avery, whenever he sends it back to me, then we will be uploading it. So we'll be uploading it on like every platform that there is to upload it on. I'm so excited. I can't wait to share it with you guys. When you guys see it, you're going to be like, oh, she spent money on this. I did. Sure did. I spent money on it. So just appreciate that aspect of it. It was not filmed on an iPhone. And then also, I just wanted to share that we have some more content that's going to be coming. I've been feeling creative again. And so I have a lot of stuff that I want to just showcase. We have this idea that we're playing with right now, and I'll share it because I'm not scared to share my ideas. But I basically want to have a character for HeRide the same way that Progressive had Flo. So remember, everybody knows Flo from Progressive. Yeah. So we're going to have like a character like that. And that's going to be like our main person throughout the content that we shoot. So it'll be other commercials that we do, different content in Atlanta, like just different things. You're going to start seeing that. And so it's going to be very, very fun. I'm excited. Let's see. I got the gig network thing that I was telling you about.
Next. So jump into that real quick and then get some more detail.
I have been, like I said, I've been in this. I've been in my creative, like I've been feeling really creative this year. And so I linked up with my creative director, Andrea Gordon. And so we are going to do a reality series called Bootstrapped. So that is going to be like, it's going to be filmed like True Life docuseries. It's going to feature different entrepreneurs, and it's going to show just the behind the scenes of what it's like to run businesses, because a lot of stuff on TV scripted, a lot of stuff they're not telling you. And also, I just feel like a lot of stuff is so spread out now. Like, if you want to find out what somebody's doing in the hair care industry, that means you got to follow this person and then watch all their YouTube videos. But if you want to follow, but if you're interested in transportation, then you got to follow this person and then watch all their videos or buy whatever it is that they're selling. I just want to have one central place where people can be like, oh, okay, like I was interested in doing that. I didn't know that you had to do that in order to do that. And so we're going to show people like, well, of course, myself is going to be included. I want to show like, there's a guy that's a real estate agent, but he's also a wrestling coach. Like, yeah, and he's also raising his daughter full time. So it's like, I want to show people like that,
there.
like people that are really just normal people, but also they are business owners, they are small business owners, they are entrepreneurs, but then also just showing what it takes to do that type of stuff. Because everybody thinks it's just so easy. It's not easy.
That's a fact.
It's not easy. So just showing that, the ups, the downs, like all that. And I really just want to showcase that. We're going to put that out. And then invite any other business owners to put their content onto our platform. So I'm not trying to build a separate platform, not trying to do anything like that. If anything, I think we're going to put everything on Tubi. Okay. If that's the goal, is to just have it on that platform, and then people can just go on there and watch it. Or maybe, I don't think Zeus would buy it or whatever, but like
you never know,
yeah,
man.
You never know. But like some type of independent network like that, because that is, I feel like that type of content is what's really missing. And like, people only watch what you put in front of them. So it's like, if you put in front of them bullshit, that's what they're gonna watch. But if you put in front of them some shit that's actually interesting, I'm pretty sure people will watch it. So we're gonna see how it goes.
I can't wait to see it. Before we get out of here, there's a couple things I want to ask you. Right, this ain't far left, but I just want to know. 'Cause I know, like, I can tell you very passionate about what you do. You're outspoken about what you do. You don't take no BS with what you do. But Jill, every time, why you be yelling at cussing these folks out, man? You be killing them. Look, let me tell you, if I go online,
I did crazy I did something this morning.
See, and if Jill like this to the side in the car or something, and then she got that face on her or she's smiling, I know for a fact
I'm about to say
she about to
something crazy.
somebody's ass, man. Why you letting these folks fluster you so much, Jill? Like,
oh Lord, it's okay. So there's a reason behind that. One, I am again, y'all, I played 3 sports in school. Like, I'm a very like competitive person just by nature. Like, I love to compete. So now in business is different. So like you can't move the same way in business that you move in sports. Like, before I played a game, I used to talk my shit. Like, I could talk my shit directly to you. But like now you have to like be, I don't know, you can't like be direct. But you gotta be like very creative and spicy about it. You gotta be nasty but nice. And anyway, I'm just learning like, okay, so like I'm a very vocal person. I'm gonna say exactly what's on my mind. I've always been like that. And I don't think that's ever gonna change. I just keep people around me now that kind of like monitor that, and they're just like,
because you be killing them, man.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you might want to delete this one today, Jill. Like, you went a little too far. I've been doing better at that. People, what I will say is this now. I don't operate in a place of malice anymore. So like, there's no malice in my heart. I'm not upset at anybody. I'm not, if anything, my frustration is now more so disappointment. I'm just like, wow, I'm really disappointed in that like you would even play with me like that. Like I'm just like so disappointed because you know me. Most of this stuff comes like most of my aggression or anything like that goes out to people that know me. The stuff that I did, the stuff that I do, the rants, I don't think that I'll ever stop. I hope I will because I definitely need to. Jill. Yeah, I got a burner account that I'm just gonna start using, but that's just kind of like social media and like the way that I rant on social media, that's like me documenting my stuff. That's like my diary. Like some people like use social media for attention, but I've always used it like my diary. Yeah. That's how I've been on Twitter, all that stuff. So like now understanding that I'm older and like, okay, you can't like say how you feel on every subject from every different thing. Like I've kind of learned how to filter myself. Yeah. But I still take the time to like address what I want to address whenever I want to be fun. Because I just want to let people know that I still have like a personality too. Facts. When people come to my page, it's like they see all this, they see the motivational quotes, they see that stuff that I be posting. But at the same time, you understand and know that I will cuss you out. Like you cannot play with me. Yeah, I'm still human and I will cuss you out and you cannot play with me like that. So that's really what it is. It's just to remind people like, hey, I'm still human. Like, I'm not perfect.
Like Jill be killing on the door. What Jill got to get on? He got some good HeRide content, good other content. Next thing you know,
and then I'll blast you with the woo. But I've done a lot better.
Like you said earlier, how sometimes you got to filter yourself. Do you ever think like doing that will affect business wise? Say if somebody's looking at who may want to invest or something like that, you think about that sometimes?
Yeah, so I do think about that. I think about how I'm perceived in that nature, and I have to think about it even more so because I'm a woman. Like men are allowed to rant, but women aren't, and it's so fucked up because men be ranting, like men
That's a
be
fact.
ranting, men be complaining, and it's okay for them to do that, especially as business owners. Like it's okay for a business owner, a man. I'm sorry, I'm yelling. It's okay for
See, that's
a
that
man
passion.
it's okay for a business owner or a man to cuss out somebody that tried him in business. Like it is okay for that. Like it's actually honestly respected.
Mm-hmm.
But when I do it, people are like, nah, Jill, you need to calm down. No, the fuck I don't need to calm down. They need
They
to
expect
understand.
women to have that nice little prissy old,
Yeah,
but
no,
you can be
like
a
that's how you get.
competitive
But
female.
to me, that's how you get ran over. That's how you allow for it to happen again. If you do not address it right when it first happens, I feel like people try to take advantage of that, especially as a woman. So it's like you need to cut it off right then and there. And I think a lot of people just aren't used to that. Like I'm someone, because I'm so laid back, they're like, oh, okay, they see like laid back. And they're like, okay, so if I do this, she probably wouldn't even know. Actually I
Get
won't.
on that ass, boy.
Yeah, like actually I won't. But it's like I warn people. I tell them, I'm like, I don't play. Like, but I think people just be thinking like, man, she just
Yeah,
talking
sometimes
like, okay.
folks just want to try it. But it's just, speaking of this, is like I seen, I think it was Donnie Wiggins. She had made a post about it. It was pretty much just as if, as an entrepreneur or a business person or business woman, it's like, when you set a standard for your brand, personal wise, it's just like sometimes it's so hard to deviate from, because once they perceive that, say if you do love to not go to a club and act out, but you do love to just go to a club and sit and chill and have some fun, but it's just like sometimes you sit back and like, damn, can I even go here in this environment anymore? Because they see me as the business professional and this and
I don't
that.
think about that.
Yeah,
Now, that part I don't think about. Now,
it's tough.
things I don't do, and I've just never done on social media is like, you probably won't ever catch me like smoking weed or like, if you do catch me drinking on social media, I'm drinking wine. Like first of all, I'm 31. Like I can
Grown
drink.
ass woman.
Yeah, like I'm grown as hell. So, but it's certain, cause like, well, my nephews aren't on social media, but I always think about like, all right, is this something that you want your nephews to see when they get older and be like, dang, Auntie Jill, like you was wilding on social media. Like you was, like I don't ever want them to like go back and just think that like that type of behavior is okay, because I don't think it is. I don't think it's necessary, and I don't think it's professional, especially when you got a business or a brand behind you. But when it comes to like, I don't know, I'm just so big on protecting my name. I'm just so big on protecting my name.
Your face card is everything out here in this world. Sometimes people just, they don't even gotta know you, but if somebody who was next to you, but y'all may not even be cool or y'all may not talk, but somebody just asked them, yo, so how was X, Y, and Z? Based off of how they experienced you and just that face card, next person don't even know you, just take that for face value. I'm like, okay, we ain't working with them. But nonetheless, you could be the best person to work with in the world, most advanced in here and there, but just that face card situation is just so tough to step out of, okay, I'm in business mode, to I want to let my hair down and relax too, or this and that. But it's just trying to do that. It could clash. So what is good that you still say, even though you will cuss somebody out, you're conscious to know, like, all right,
I definitely pick and choose my battles now.
Yeah,
I definitely say that. I pick and choose my battles. So if you do see me acting out on social media, it's definitely for a reason.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I sat down and thought about it, and you deserve it.
Yep, I have sat down and thought about it. I've even probably called a couple people and asked them and told them, like, hey, I'm about to...
That's a great part to have that, have people around you to either check you or tell you when you're right, when you're wrong. Because some folks, they get offended where somebody try to tell them, like, what you doing? Maybe you shouldn't. Like, man, I got this. But the fact that you can accept that criticism and accept that from people, that's also great. Enough to have them to be able to do it is great. Like, I don't tolerate yes men, yes women. I hate it. I'm like, tell me when I'm wrong. Tell me when that may not be the right thing to do. Because I'm a damn sure tell you. Because it's one, I respect you and I love you enough to know I'm not gonna let you go down this road and deteriorate yourself and your brand. If I do that, I'm not for you and I'm not your real friend. So
and that's probably why Devin's probably the best co-founder ever. That's like my favorite thing about her is that she is that person for me in business. Not only does she work in PR, like that's what she does separately, but like just as the co-founder for HeRide and also her being my friend, she'll call me and be like, all right, Jill, so I definitely saw your IG story, and we definitely gotta delete that one, because and then she'll go into it explaining, like, she's not going and just like cussing me out and stuff like that. Like it's
perspective, man.
And yes, like we have a mutual respect for each other, and I have like whenever she tells me, I'll be like, oh, say less, you know what? I was tripping, Devin, my bad. And then like she'll go into, explaining and like just encouraging me like to, don't pay the haters no mind, good stuff like that. Like, continue to stay low, because I love the way that Debbie moves on social media. I wish I could move the way she moves, but we are so polar opposites on that end. I just love the fact that she has no problem with checking me on that. Like, I need that, because I need people to check me. Like, I can't have people around me just telling me that everything that I'm doing is okay. Like, that is
behind
not
the scenes. Like,
that is not okay.
Come on, bro. Everything gonna crumble like that. Even though you're at the top, you need that foundation and support to help you keep going and going and going. Nonetheless, your hard work, dedication, and sacrifice is attached to somebody else's blessing, whether they want to know it or not. But
exactly,
hold your people accountable. But again, I'm glad that was a fun little talk with her. Yeah. But so in the future, what's next for HeRide? What is where's your vision at? I know going to get into the airport was a major accomplishment. So what are you trying to steer next with it?
So my vision right now and my focus is driver retention, completion, revenue generation. So for this next year, we're really focusing on just generating as much revenue we can outside of the airport, taking those numbers, going and trying to get some more money raised up so that we can go to other cities and do the exact same thing. Also thinking about franchising an app. Like, I don't think that's ever been done before. So we're trying to figure out a model of that we're going to create, because there have been a lot of people from different cities asking if, we can bring HeRide to that area. And I'm like, well, yeah, we can, but I want to do it the way that restaurants do it. And so we are going to franchise HeRide, and we're going to figure out how to do it. And we're probably going to be the first app to franchise their app. So it's gonna be fun. People like, it can't be done, and so I've heard that it can't be done, but that's not possible. Everything can be done. If Uber can be created, then franchising apps can be created. So
sit down, strategize, plot, and get it done, man. That's beautiful. So the last two things, right? Part one, if you could go back to young Jill and tell her anything, give her some advice, or say anything, what would it be? And then next, after that, I would just love for you to give some motivational words or advice to someone who may be trying to come up in your field of tech, who may want to start an app, or just anybody in that nature. So just how to get them to, because some folks may need to hear this push to get up off their butt and just say, you know what, let me go jump into it and get to it. So just those last two questions for you.
What I would say to my younger self, Jill, buy Bitcoin. What were you thinking? Like, you knew about it your senior year of high school and you sat there and didn't buy it. Why didn't you do that? That's definitely what I would have told myself. Buy as much Bitcoin as you can. Take out loans. Take out whatever you need. Like, make your mother mad. It don't matter. You will explain it later in 10 years. Let's see. Motivational words to anybody that wants to do what I'm doing or thinking about doing what I've done. Do it. Stop sitting on the idea. Somebody's probably already thought of it before. Who cares? Do it. Go find out if the name has been trademarked and then go do it. When it comes to apps, research apps. So when it comes to like some of the best app names, I'm just going to go ahead and give you this free game. The best app names only have 2 syllables. So stop with all that wordy ass shit. No one cares about Jones Transportation Service. Like, no. The best apps have 2 syllables. Facebook. I know Instagram is an anomaly, but Uber. Lyft only has 1, but it's either 1 or 2 syllables for the most part. So try to keep it short and sweet. At the most 3 syllables. You can make up any word that you want when it comes to app names. Try to keep it simple. If you want to be like Lyft and change the spelling of a word, you can do that. Just make sure that it hasn't already been trademarked. And then, like I said, trademark your name. So picking a good app name, trademarking that name, and then building the brand around that name. Those would be the top 3 things that you need to do. And stop sitting on your hands and get to work. If anybody wants to hit me up and ask, like, okay, what company did you use to, build your app? I will share that with you. So, just hit me up.
Facts. One quick question though. What do you feel about like ChatGPT in the tech area? What's your emotions about it?
I like it. I use ChatGPT all the time.
Just checking.
ChatGPT and Bard. Bard is good too. That's the one that Google has. BARD. Use that one too. Like, just play around with it. It's the way that you talk to it. I pay for the Plus version. That's
what I'm about to get into. Now I've seen the updates of what it can now. It's not limited to, was it 2021? Now they can actually go and search into now. Yeah, man, it's a game
Man,
changer.
I needed that in college. I would have been a double major.
Man, I'm trying to tell you.
Oh, I would have been a double major. I'm trying to tell you. They would have all my work done for me.
So before we get out of here, do you have any announcements you want to make? Anything coming up, this and that? And also tell everybody where they can find you on social media.
Yeah, so you guys can find us on social media at Get Her Ride on all social media platforms. So it's GETHERIDE. There is one R in Her Ride. Our website is www.herride.com. Any type of announcements. We don't have any pressing announcements right now. For anybody that's interested in driving, we are looking for drivers. So we're always looking for drivers for Her Ride. You have to be a woman, and you have to live in the Atlanta area. We also are doing rides in the Athens area. So if you're interested in driving in the Athens area, hit us up as well on all social media platforms or on our website.
There we go. But again, that was a great conversation. Thank you for pulling up, dropping all these gems. Your story is amazing. I'm pretty sure somebody get some value from it.
Yeah.
But it was a good time. But once again, if y'all was tuning in, thank y'all so much for tuning in. This is HeRide podcast. You can find me on social media at Sir Gates BC. Make sure y'all follow the podcast page, which is HeRide podcast, NHERITD podcast, all across the board. Follow the main brand, HeRide. And again, this episode was sponsored by Secure Data Recovery. If you lose your data, anything crash, and make sure y'all hitting them up. But until next time, this is HeRide podcast. That was a good one. We out.
Be easy. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Loved it. This is great.